What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to be talking about a Parisian niche brand that I have great respect for. I love the format and the process that they do their fragrances with by uniting a lot of the great noses in the industry under one roof. Of course, I'm talking about the Parisian house, the French niche house, Frederic Malle. Are you guys ready? Let's do this. What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another fragrance video. I'm Forti. Of course, today we're going to be talking about one of the series that I get most asked to do. And this house in particular is one of the top 3 fragrance houses that people have asked me to talk about in the Gbuuo series. Your good, bad, ugly, underrated, and overrated. Today, of course, Frederic Malle is the fragrance house du jour. Quick background on the house of Frederic Malle. So the brand itself is named after its founder, Frederic Malle, and it started back in the year 2000. They currently have over 40 different fragrances in their portfolio and counting. They do release at least 1 or 2 fragrances per year. The whole concept and format of this brand started back in the year 2000 when Frederic Malle invited 9 perfumers to put together some amazing compositions, and the rest is history. So without any further ado, let me hop into my fragrances that I own from Frederic Malle. I have not tried all 40 of them. I have actually tried maybe 20 of them. I've owned a few in the past. I got rid of them. But the 8 that I'm going to share with you today in this video are absolutely my favorites from the brand. We're going to do this chronologically as always. I'm going to start in the order that they were released. Starting off with one of the fragrances from their original 9 compositions from the year 2000. This is Frederic Malle's Maurice Roussel composition, of course, Musk Ravageur. Not only this is a great Oriental fragrance if you love Oriental fragrances, spicy fragrances, however, this is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. I've talked about this fragrance immensely in this channel, perhaps not as much as I do it these days, but it's one that I always wear. I think it always makes my top winter scents because it is just that kind of scent, majestic for the cold weather. You can wear this all year round, but I think it's a little bit too pungent for the high heat that we're in like right now. It starts off with cinnamon and cloves. It is a lavender that's enveloped by all these spicy components, and it dries down to this vanilla kind of Cinnabon type of a deal. I absolutely love this fragrance. It is definitely a masterpiece in my opinion. One of the best fragrances I've ever put my nose on. If you like Oriental spicy fragrances that are very powerful, you're going to absolutely love Musk Ravageur. Fast forward from 2000 to 2002, we have a creation from Dominique Ropion collaborating with Frederic Malle. This is Vetiver Extraordinaire. And extraordinaire this is an extraordinary vetiver scent. I am, biased because I do love vetiver fragrances, but this one here is done to perfection. In fact, I know a lot of people in my surroundings, people that don't really like vetiver scents. They find it too smoky, too earthy, too old smelling, but this particular one actually gets me compliments. It smells amazing. It's a juicy kind of vetiver. It's true to the vetiver essence of the earthiness, but it's also done in a very way that's actually very soothing. It is definitely an exquisite work of art from Frederic Malle. If you guys are not very into vetivers, but you want to, get into it, definitely try this one. To me, one of the best vetiver compositions ever made. Now, from 2002, let's pass forward to 2005. This is going to be another Dominique Ropion composition. This is called Carnal Flower. Now, if you also follow the channel, I don't really like the floral genre. Floral fragrances don't really agree much with my skin, only a few and far in between. But this here, Carnal Flower, is an extremely work of art from Dominique Ropion, which happens to be actually one of my favorite perfumes of all time. And he nailed with this one. You have a beautiful, creamy and sweet tuberose with coconut. I mean, it's mostly a linear scent on my skin, but it is a great linear scent at that. But let me tell you something, if you're looking for a perfect floral scent, I say this is definitely one of the best I've ever put my nose on. Carnal Flower from 2005 is definitely a great one that I suggest people trying when they're looking for a great floral scent. And by the way, all compositions of Frederic Malle I think are very gender-free. They're very androgynous. I think anyone can enjoy them. In fact, a lot of these fragrances I share with my wife, and I know a lot of people that guys and gals that wear the same thing, as far as, wearing Carnal Flower or Portrait of a Lady, which I'll talk about very soon. So a great brand that I suggest anyone that's trying to get into niche, looking for quality, looking for superb quality, looking for uniqueness, definitely check out Frederic Malle. Now from 2005, let's move over to 2007. This is a composition by Pierre Bourdon, which in my opinion is one of the best perfumers when it comes to masculine vetiver, barbershop type feel fragrances. This is called French Lover. Now French Lover is a oak moss and vetiver based scent, so starting from that perspective alone, I know I'm gonna love this fragrance. But it has so much more going for it. It has Angelica here, which gives this scent a nice modern twist. This is, to me, a perfect balance of classic meets modern. French Lover is a great bohemian sort of fragrance that has so much character and dimension. Definitely one of my favorites from the house of Frederic Malle, and I suggest you, if you like those masculine, woody aromatic type scents, definitely check out French Lover. Now from 2007, let's move over to 2010. You can tell how much I like Dominique Ropion, another Dominique Ropion composition. This one, of course, Portrait of a Lady. Now, Portrait of a Lady is a fragrance that I'm sure you've heard about it. If you're in the fragrance community, if you follow different channels, this has made a ton of top 10 lists. A lot of people love this fragrance in the community. It's one of the most talked about from this particular brand. And you smell the fragrance from the nozzle, you can smell the quality, and this is mostly a rose-based scent. Like I said, I don't love floral fragrances, but rose is a note that I actually do enjoy. There's a few fragrances with rose in my collection that I truly enjoy, and this would definitely be at my top 3 best rose fragrances of all time. Portrait of a Lady is a fantastic, spicy, woodsy rose that, if you like the note of rose, I definitely suggest you guys checking this out because this is nothing short of a masterpiece. Now let's move over from 2010 all the way to 2015, only a few years ago. This is from Bruno Jovanovic, and this is, of course, Monsieur. Now, Monsieur has a classic patchouli masculine feel. If you like Givenchy Gentleman, the old one, the vintage formulation, this is going to have nuances of that fragrance. Also has some vanilla here, but it's going to be very heavy on the patchouli, along with spicy components and white musk at the base. This is not for everyone. I think from all the fragrances I talked about so far, this and Musk Ravageur I think are the most polarizing of this list, but this is going to be a love and hate, let me tell you. I think you're either going to not really like this or you're going to absolutely love, because this is a stunning patchouli composition. This next one here is only a couple years old, from 2017. Many consider this to be the crown jewel of Frederic Malle over the past few years, and rightfully so. This is going to be an amazing rose-based fragrance again. Dominique Ropion, this is called Promise. Now, Promise is going to be a heavy rose fragrance with oud, labdanum, patchouli. There's also a nice note of papyrus here. This combines both amazing roses up top and all throughout the scent. It's going to be more on the linear side, but very powerful at that. This is going to be Bulgarian rose with Turkish rose, surrounded by this amazing fruity green apple accord. There's pepper here, red pepper. This is a very fiery, very spicy type rose, and it's a gemmy rose as well. And of course, the nose again, Dominique Ropion is going to be the most featured nose in this collection because he does phenomenal fragrances, and I tend to like his creations a little bit more. This, of course, is called Promise from 2017. And it is just an outstanding, almost boozy kind of rose. It is just a very fiery, spicy type rose. It combines, like I said, 2 amazing roses to make for a perfect rose fragrance. And I would go as far as saying that this is probably one of the best rose fragrances I've ever put my nose on. So if you have not checked out and you like the note of rose, definitely check out Promise. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Last but not least, this is a release from last year. I actually have a full review on this fragrance that'll pop up here so you guys can check it out. This is called Music for a While from Carlo Benaim, collaboration again with Frederic Malle. Music for a While is a trifecta of pineapple, lavender, and patchouli. I absolutely love this fragrance. Again, this is another one that's not going to be for everyone, along with, Musk Ravageur. It's another polarizing fragrance. I think you're either going to love it or hate it. It can be overly sweet. It's very, almost syrupy sweet in the beginning. It's one of those that you just have to do 1 or 2 sprays around this area. It's more than enough. It's going to stay with you throughout the whole day, and then some. If you spray your clothes, it'll be there the next day, I promise. But Music for a While is a very artistic, very juicy kind of a fragrance, and I absolutely love it because I do like lavender. It does not have a lavender barbershop feel type scent. It goes into a different direction. It's very aromatic. Music for a While was one of those fragrances that I did not like at first, but I kept smelling my wrist, kept going back for it, and I figured, let me wear this. It worked perfectly with my chemistry. I did get some compliments with it. It's very unique, but it has this really captivating and intriguing at the same time, alluring kind of a vibe to it, especially on my skin. So Music for a While from Carlo Ben-Aim is the last composition I want to share with you guys. All right, let's get the show on the road. Let's talk about the good. The good from this brand has to be this particular fragrance here. My favorite, of course, Musk Ravageur. I love it so much. I have 2 bottles. An older formulation and a current formulation. This is just an absolute stunning juice. You guys heard me talk about Musk Ravageur over and over again on this channel. It is one of my favorite niche fragrances of all time. Definitely check out Musk Ravageur if you haven't. Definitely a stunning juice. One that's definitely going to grab attention. No questions asked. The bad from this brand, I'll have to say, 2018 release, the latest one I've gotten from my collection, of course, Music for a While, only because it is not for everyone. That beginning, you know, with that patchouli, that pineapple, lavender combination, it is a little bit overbearing for a lot of people. I know when I first spray this on, it is almost syrupy, so it's not going to be a very universally accepted fragrance, but if you want to be unique, if you want something exotic and very different, I definitely say check this out. But that, because of that really syrupy and very overly sweet beginning, is why I would say this is the bad from the bunch, because I think it's probably the most daring from what I own here, even more daring than Musk Ravageur, to be honest with you. But they're both daring fragrances, but I definitely have to give the bad to Music for a While. It's just not universally accepted as a lot of the other compositions here. Now, the ugly will go to a fragrance that I don't currently own anymore. I actually gave it away. This fragrance is called Eau de Magnolia. It's from 2014. It was just a little bit too floral for my taste. I do like Magnolia and Rose. It was probably my 2 favorite, along with Iris, when it comes to like floral notes. But it couldn't work on my skin. It was just too white floral, and it just, you know, it did not transition very well. You know, it gave me almost like a bitter smell on my skin. It just couldn't work for me, so I gave it away. So for the ugly, I'll have to give to Eau de Magnolia, which again, I don't currently own. All right, so the underrated will go to a fragrance that, in my opinion, is without a shadow of a doubt the most underrated from Frederic Malle. You don't hear much about it at all in the fragrance community about this fragrance from Pierre Boudin, and this is French Lover. Guys, French Lover is an absolutely outstanding woody aromatic fragrance that is just worthy of you checking out. If you like the genres of a classic true gentleman fragrance, this stuff here is just a stunning work of art. Guys, check out French Lover if you haven't. I know you're gonna love it if you have a taste like mine, if you like true gentleman-like scents. This is definitely a must try. Now, the most overrated from the house, I have to say 2 fragrances come to mind. Of course, Musk Ravageur. If you're in a fragrance community, you know this is a fragrance that got a ton of hype. Back in 2010 into 2012, you know, every person in the fragrance community, every 12 or 20 reviewers that we had back then, were talking about Musk Ravageur. So I definitely have to say it is one of the most overrated of the brand. And now, over the past 5 years or so, I'd have to say Portrait of a Lady has been getting a lot of hype in the community. It is a great scent, but it is definitely not my favorite of all time when it comes to rose-based fragrances. It is very nice. To me, it leans a little bit more in the feminine side of things. That's the reason why I don't love it so much. It is a little too floral for my taste. It is a great scent. It is Dominique Robian. After all, I know he's a great nose, one of my favorites of all time, of course. It is an outstanding juice, but I think it can be a little bit overhyped at times. There you go, ladies and gents. Those are my fragrances from Frederic Malle. Let me know in the comment section below, is there anything that I'm missing that I should check out? Again, there's over 40 fragrances in Frederic Malle's portfolio, so I definitely missed a few. If there's any fragrances from Frederic Malle that I have not mentioned in this video that you guys think I should check out, please be sure to comment below. And of course, let me know what your favorites are from Frederic Malle. I'd love to read your comments. And if you guys are interested in Frederic Malle fragrances, if you get into the fragrance world, if you're just getting your feet wet into the niche fragrance world, guys, you want to try it before you buy it. These are very expensive. I think they average between $200 and $300 per bottle. So I would definitely point you guys to my partner, myfragrancesamples.com, to check any of the fragrances mentioned in this video from the ones that I own. And of course, they have a lot more different fragrances from Frederic Malle, as well as a ton of other high-end niche fragrances, as well as your top designers, new releases, whatever's the greatest, the latest, they always have in their portfolio. And of course, 100% authenticity guaranteed. Guys, I approve of it. I've had experiences with them for over 3 years before I started talking about it. Use my code MAX15 to get an additional 15% at checkout. Link below, guys. Enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you for your support. If you have any questions, be sure to also comment below. And as always, remember, fragrance is emotion in motion. So wear what truly moves you. I'll catch you guys real soon.